He's pretty accurate, has swing,
Yeah.
can bat, has shown a head, is a good fielder.
Everything you've said also applies to Shardul Thakur. I'm just letting you know, okay, Nagaraj? Yeah. Everything you've
Yeah,
said.
nicely dissing
Yeah. No, stop it. Another IPL auction is upon us, and this is another ESPN Cricinfo Runorder where we ask a simple question. Will the 20 crore mark be breached for any player? Sam Curran set a new record last time, and will the 10 franchises show greater interest at what is a smaller auction this time? Tom Moody sat on many a franchise table and not been allowed to spend 20 crore. Dustin Salgado, Nagaraj Golapudi, Yash Jha, and George Binoy are all going to join into the conversation. We've already thought this through on Mitchell Starc and whatnot, Tom Moody, but can he possibly go for more than Sam Curran? Can the 20 crore mark be breached?
I think it will go very close to being breached purely because we have a number of teams that have got the purse available to them to be able to go to 20 plus. And it's a specific skill that Mitchell Starc brings to the table as an overseas player. He's someone that can have an impact in the power play, and he's got a good reputation as a finisher. And those two bookend skills in your bowling outfit is very much on demand. Therefore, I think he's going to be hot property.
Let's just clarify, Nagaraj, that we have an additional purse. So the 20 crore barrier being breached, the numbers, the chances are higher because the franchises have more money than they would in any other auction, right?
Yeah, you would think so. More than one franchise this time has, I mean, 3 to 4 franchises have 50 or close to in that range. Some people have over 30. So you would obviously think that, yes, a record sum could be a record bid could be made. Personally, having spoken to a few franchises, they suspect the 20 crore won't be breached solely because rationally, if you think, most teams want more than one player. There are like 4 to 5 options they need to fill, and especially 2 or 3 in the first 11 for some teams. So I suspect, no, I'm not sure if the 20 crore will be breached this time.
Last year, Sam Curran went for 18.25 when, and I think he was bought by Punjab, who didn't even have the most money. So this year there are several, I think about 3 franchises that have more money than Punjab did in previous auction. I think it will depend on a lot of factors, depending on how many franchises blow up money. In that first 2 sets, 2 teams need to want the same player and have money at the same time in the auction. So I think it could go very close. If Sam Curran went for 18.25 last time, I think, I think we'll definitely have the most expensive player again at this auction.
I think it's important to note the player slots to fill for 3 of the teams which come in with so much money, right? Because Gujarat, 38 crore, but if you look at what they have, barring Hardik Pandya, they have pretty much the lineup that has taken them to 2 finals in 2 years. So they know that realistically, all that money to spend for one big ticket player. So I don't rule them out. And similarly with CSK, 31 crore, and most of the team that won that title last season is still there. So if they've identified a player, it could be very similar to what happened with CSK at the last auction, where they went into the auction with 20 crores. They wanted Stokes, and they spent 16.25 out of that 20 on Stokes alone. And in that bracket, even though they had the complete opposite season of CSK, I'll also put SRH. 34 crores, not actually let go of as many players we thought they might have. And they could be in the market for 2 big players. And for that, 34 crore means you have the propensity to spend upwards of 18.
Yeah. So if you're given the permission, that is to spend the whole purse, right, Tom?
Look, I think the interesting thing, when you have these mini auctions, it's not so much about the money, the value that you're spending. It's what you need. It's not what it costs. So the cost is not relevant. If you're looking to build a championship team, the cost is not relevant. What gap do I need filling? And I'll throw everything at it to get who I believe is the right person. And we all feel that Mitchell Starc is, for a number of teams, that right person. So therefore, the forces of economy are going to sort of go overtime, and he's going to push through the ceiling. And the second thing to take into consideration, because Mitchell Starc is such a significant player, this being the third year of the auction, it gives that team that secures him the option to retain him going forward.
Yeah, and what also happens, I think, at these mini auctions is from the players released, a lot of the franchises might look to just replace those players in the 11 with domestic players they already have. So, for example, even a KKR, you might say, okay, they've released a lot of fast bowlers, so they have to bring in a lot, but they might well be saying that we're going to trust Harshit Rana this year to play through the season. And so they might actually only need that one more or two more fast bowlers, and they can spend more than 20 crores of their 32.7 on Mitchell Starc, just as an example.
Yeah.
So I'm also in the camp where I think 20 crores will actually be breached at the auction.
Let's go around the room and very quickly ask all of you if there is any other player that could surprise us and it would not be Mitchell Starc that would actually be the highest bid at this auction. Could it possibly be anybody else around the room? Anyone?
Gerald
Tom,
Coetzee.
who is likely? Gerald Coetzee, okay.
I think that is a skill set that will gain the most money. He's like a future player. He's like a bet people can take. He bowls extreme pace, he's pretty accurate, has swing, can bat, has shown ahead, is a good fielder.
Everything you've said also applies to Shardul Thakur. I'm just letting you know, okay, Nagaraj? Yeah, everything you said.
Nicely dissing Shardul.
No, stop it.
So what happens sometimes is, what if a team gets Starc and then another team is lacking a fast bowler and Coetzee comes after Starc? You do see situations then when a team gets desperate and they spend a huge amount of money on a player who may not even have been as good as somebody who they didn't end up getting.
We leave it there. Thank you very much to Tom Moody, Yasha, Nagaraj, George and Dustin. It looks very likely that we will see that 20 crore mark be breached or possibly get very close to it. And it seems like Mitchell Starc will be the man.